I haven't sat down and recorded a video in a hot minute, and I guess I'm not sitting down. I'm standing up. And something I haven't done since I've moved in. I'm coming up on the 1-year anniversary of living in this apartment, and I have yet to do a studio tour. That is mainly because at my last apartment there was I had my own like little office room to myself, and in this apartment the situation is half of the living room is basically my desk and workspace. My partner has been an absolute dream to live with, but it's a considerably smaller apartment. I really love it here, but not having an entire room to myself means I can't just shut myself in there and record even when people are in the house because I'm embarrassed. But my partner is at work, so I've decided, why don't I do a studio tour? This entire afternoon I've been trying to record b-roll footage because I really want to get on a kick of like making more short form videos and stuff, because like that's responsible and whatever. So my desk is probably the cleanest it'll ever be. My desk is genuinely most of the space, but there are some other areas that I will bring you to. But yeah, so let's just get right into it. Now, I am doing a studio tour, not an apartment tour, so I'm only doing this part of the house, but I did set the camera up so that you could see this cardboard Freddy Fazbear that I have on the back of my apartment door, and I just want you guys to be able to appreciate that. So this is pretty much the first area I'd like to bring you to. There's not too much you can see in this shot that I have right here, but I will be moving. But over here is my bookshelves, my cart, and my, I guess, actual shelves. So starting a little bit backwards, we're gonna go through these shelves first. So this is basically this area is generally where I keep all of my books. So I try to have everything kind of ordered in certain shelves. The bottom two I'm not showing off really because they're not super like aesthetic or organized. Those are kind of where a bunch of junk goes. But this first section here has my Neon Genesis Evangelion manga collection, which also my one Omori volume, just to show off. The covers are really beautiful. There's gonna be a lot of Evangelion books because there's more on my desk. I have this little trash can that's covered in dust, and it's full of stickers because for a couple years in a row I get a bunch of sticker packs for Christmas and my birthday, which are a month apart. I keep them all in here, and then I keep rolls of packing tape back here. This second one is generally other comics and books, but first we have the two master editions of the, oh my god, the fairy tale manga that my partner gave me. I probably shouldn't admit to having this because my mom watches these videos, but I do have the first Sweet Paprika volume, and I do want to collect the rest of them because I have been following this artist longer than I technically should have been able to. Obviously, I really like their OCs. I think anyone who knows my characters would know why I would like the designs of these characters immediately. The next book I have, I actually remember buying and then I forgot to read because I want to get into reading more comics. I never read anymore. But it's this really cute book called Girl Juice. These next few volumes, these are also comics. These are the Boom Studio, the Boom Studios Power Ranger comics, which I actually need to reread these and then probably collect the rest of them. But if you don't know, I used to love Power Rangers a lot as a kid. I met the actor for Rocky because he's my favorite Red Ranger, not Jason. Next thing I have is my copy of the manga Another. This is the full story, so like if you're trying to get into reading manga, I think this was like the coolest thing I could have ever started with. The anime is really lame. Do not watch the anime. It's animated strangely. It's kind of weird. The art style in this is genuinely so gorgeous that I can't talk enough about how much I really loved this story and how it was handled. When I bought them, what I thought would be like graphic novelizations of the Iliad and the Odyssey, but what they actually are is the translated versions of the Iliad and the Odyssey with classical paintings accompanying most of the pages. Moving down to these next two cubes. Well, I'll talk about this one first because you can see what is there. This is all of my Twilight books, as well as this comic book, Fangs, which is about a vampire and a werewolf falling in love. And it's really cute. It's just full of these little, like, I don't really know what to describe it as. It doesn't really have a plot other than the two of them kind of just falling in love, but it's a bunch of little tiny scenes of them together, and it's really cute. So this is kind of my favorites collection, but it's also just kind of like the books that I put there because I think other people like them and they're cool. But also, there's not a book on here that I didn't enjoy. There's one book on here that I didn't enjoy. Going from the top, we have Time is a Mother and the Emperor of Gladness by Ocean Vuong. So this one's signed, which is really cool. I don't really have anything that's like signed and important and cool like that. So the next book I have is Bunny by Mona Awad. I love this book. I thought this was really cool. I haven't read the sequel and I refuse. Next up is A Certain Hunger by Chelsea G. Summers. This was really good. I really enjoyed this. Like, not in a weird way. Like, all of these books are kind of weird. I like a little bit of like strange fiction. I don't really know what kind of books I like anymore, honestly, because I'm trying to read books that are more mature and not just YA. And I feel like YA is just so digestible. It's so easy to read, and that's why I used to love it. But now I've kind of gotten a taste for more like artistic styles of prose, I guess. But I don't know how to find that. And the book that actually kicked that all off was The Secret History. I have read this book so many times. You can see all of the like, all of the dents and all of the pages that have been like bunny marked or bunny eared and stuff. Bunny eared, dog eared. But like, everything about this book, like the paper that they chose, the font that is in it, I cannot talk more about how much I love Donna Tartt, and I need to actually buy The Little Friend and read that finally. Next up is The Virgin Suicides. This book made me sick to my stomach. It was so good. I hate everybody in this book. Genuinely really good book. And actually one of the only cases of me reading a book before watching the movie. Usually I like to watch the movie before reading the book just because it's such an investment to buy a book nowadays. If We Were Villains, YA Secret History. So I should have read this first because I got my copy of The Secret History my freshman year of high school, and it took me years to finally like truly get it. I should have started with this because this was fire, but I read it my freshman year of college, and by then I was like, yeah, it's okay, but it seemed a little. So next we have A Little Life. I'm not talking about this one. Perks of Being a Wallflower. Worst cover to show probably ever. Love this book. Love this movie. I did watch the movie first before reading the book. I can't decide which one's better. I think they're both really good. And now we're gonna get to the ones that I feel kind of iffy about, which is Otessa Moshfe's books. I enjoyed my year of rest and relaxation. Kind of my first dip into literary fiction in the way that it has no genuine plot and it's just about a character making her life worse. I did not enjoy Lipovna, or however I'm supposed to say Lipovna. I didn't like this one. Just this shelf is just some extra books that couldn't really fit up here that I like, but don't really like enough to really aestheticize and show off. And then over here is a bunch of like college things, like a bunch of stuff from the University of Hartford and SVA, like all of those little advertising books that they show you. And basically that is it for what is inside of these shelves. So we're actually gonna move over to my cart before we go up. We're going in a very strange studio order here. Hello, we've moved so far. This is my cart, which I got in the most obnoxious shade of pink as anyone possibly could. It should have been white. It should have been in white or black, but it's fine. This top shelf is basically my everything shelf. My cat is here, so if the tripod gets moved, it is because she wants cuddles ferociously. And I keep both art supplies and my makeup. I keep my makeup bag. It's this pouch from Ipsy. I do need to get like a new one because I've had that same makeup bag since 7th grade and I'm tired. But I keep like my eyeshadows and like my powder stuff, and I never really use these, but I keep it all in this one big stack here. I have this tiny mason jar full of watercolor brushes. So these are the brushes that I usually go to for, and I don't really like buying new brushes. I don't really like buying new art supplies or new stuff like that. I like having what I have and using it and then just getting the same thing. But for my illustration 2 final, I wanted to have some really nice brushes to work with the medium I was using, which was the Daler Rowney acrylic inks, which basically function like super pigmented watercolor. So it's like you use like 1 drop of this with a lot of water. So I have the primary color set, which does not mean primary colors. That is crimson, processed magenta, processed yellow, and I bought this blue separately because this is not what is in the primary color pack, but it's the better blue to mix with, and that is the Rowney blue, or the blue Rowney. I don't know, just very standard black and white. Eventually, when I'm not going between places, I'll be able to have all of my favorite art supplies in this cup, which is actually an old candle holder. This little next one is just full of microns. I'm literally always in need of more microns. I have a cup for makeup brushes, a thing for pencil shavings, and then just some perfumes and lotion and stuff. This is a very everything part of my shelf. Like, it really just holds all the stuff that I need to be able to grab, and I think it works fine. I really kind of enjoy how this looks now. Moving the camera down a little bit to look at the second shelf, which is very empty. It used to be more full. I kind of crisis on what I should really put in here sometimes, but this is a shirt from middle school that I got. I got it at the end of 8th grade when I already knew I was transferring to a different high school. It was like a pride shirt for the school, not like a cool pride shirt, but like a stupid high school pride shirt. And I hated it and was like, I'm gonna use it as a paint shirt. And that is exactly what I've done. So then I have some paint palettes. I also keep my praying watercolors here. My favorite watercolors ever. I also keep my Kimi gouache set here, which I've had since my freshman year of high school. And I'm gonna open this up, and yeah, I have never once had a mold problem, and my last apartment literally had black mold in it. So I don't know what you people are doing to your gouache sets, but I will put this away with actual like full water in here and open it up 6 months later, and it'll have nothing. Like, it's fine. And an extra tube of white gouache. Now this is a Prismacolor thing for pencils, but I actually have way too many Prismacolors to fit in here, so I keep old patches and erasers in here. This is what I got for my acrylic ink mixing. We have all of these these are basically all stuff that I had to buy for my art classes that I don't want to use again. This was actually lined, this is a gift, but these are watercolor color pencils. And next are these Rembrandt soft pastels, which I used maybe once for my drawing 2 class. I made sure to ask the professor, like, hey, what stuff is absolutely necessary to buy right now, and I will get that. And she was like, everything. And then we didn't use any of it. These are Prismacolor markers, which actually I didn't pay for. These were free. My 2D design teacher gave a bunch of these out. So this was actually a really fun set to play with, but I'm kind of scared of markers, honestly. I don't like them bleeding through my paper. Next is the Pentel oil pastels. And ooh, these all got jumbled up. But yeah, that's what they look like. I used them very, very briefly for one of my final projects for my drawing 2 class, which was this big editing me put in the big lamb drawing, and I used it for that, and it's literally just for the red text, and that was all I used those for. I don't know where these came from. These are more colored pencils, but I never bought these. I don't know where these are from. But yeah, so that is that second shelf, and this third shelf isn't really much to talk about. There's crayons and colored pencils, but those are actually my partner's, they're not mine. I have this broken glass thing because I need to buy super glue for it, and then basically I just have a bunch of extra paper down here, like blank notebooks, blank sketchbooks. So there really is not anything of note on the bottom shelf, so we can continue on and up. What we have next is kind of this very cluttered corner thing. Like, everything on here, there's just, you can see it, there's little stuffed animals. I have little Hello Kitty. This is actually an old CD case that I didn't want to get rid of. And then here are my digital camera collection. I have a Fujifilm FinePix E500. I have a Samsung Digimax L60, and then I have a Nikon Coolpix. All of these are broken and busted in some sort of way. I bought new batteries for this one, so this one should be fine, but it is very old and defunct. Nikon Coolpix fell off my shelf of my old desk, which is one of those like thin desks that has a bunch of shelves and stuff on top. So I had it up top, and then it fell, and then the thing broke. So it has to keep the batteries in with a hair elastic, so I hate using this. This takes some of the best pictures I've ever seen on like just a point and shoot camera, and it's really cool. It has a cool like little startup noise. It looks looks really interesting here, and I really like the flash. Like, just even that, it takes really interesting pictures. But the difference is that this does not use an SD card. This is from an experimental run with the Olympus cameras in which Fujifilm and Olympus made XD cards. So they're like $80, and I'm not spending $80 for a 2 terabyte storage card in a RAM shortage. So, and they were $80 before that. I have to get that eventually, and then I can use the top of this is kind of a mess. I kind of just keep a bunch of stuff here, but it's fine. There's this picture of my brother and I. Like, I don't know where some of this stuff should be hung. I have my collection of different nail polishes and stuff up here. And then also all of my prints, stickers, and like Polaroid photos that I haven't done anything with all just kind of end up in a pile right here. So let's move to the side so you can see what's on my shelves. So right here, my shelves are very cool. They're kind of a new addition. They were from a couple months ago. I have this pen holder thing, which has all of my pens. All of my Prismacolors are up here. My Shuttle Art gel pens that I got for free are up here. Some more Microns, Sharpies. I don't know how someone gets these many Sharpies. I have 8 Sharpies right there, and then 3 Sharpies in another container. I must have been stealing them. And then the bottom, basically the bottom section of any drawer tier thing is just a junk shelf for me. And then right here, this is Color Aid, which is basically like Pantone sheets, but it's like collage paper with this like really waxy surface. I hate this stuff. We had to use it for my color theory class. It was the worst thing ever. These are all my junk brushes. This is what all of my brushes used to be on, but I kind of want all my favorites in a more accessible little jar. They're sitting on top of the gouache set that I had to buy also for my color theory class because we couldn't just use the Hemi gouache because that class made me spend so much money for no reason. But yeah, so these were okay. This is an Ohuhu sketchbook that I have yet to use because I bought it because it was on sale and I needed a new sketchbook, and I did not read the dimensions. It isn't much bigger than any sketchbook I've ever used, but it's much thicker and nicer paper, so I'm hoping this is going to be good. I have this plan for a second channel video that I want to make where I want to buy a bunch of sketchbooks and see which one I like the most, just so that, like, I don't know, I think it'd be cool, and then maybe giving away all the sketchbooks that I don't like as much. So this is kind of on hold for that video. I have many acrylic markers from many different sources. First, we have my Artex markers, which I have both 120 like anime set, I believe. And I'm not pulling out the other one, but I also have the skin tone set Ohuhu sent me, and I have speed paint on this channel. Might be re-uploaded to the second channel, but I have the Ohuhu Nahuku markers, which are also acrylic markers, and these are very, very cool. And I brought them to school a few times, and I use them in my sketchbook a little bit because they're so portable, but I really do, I genuinely do like all of these. Like, talking in a non-sponsored video, these are all really good for very different reasons. These have a really good color range and selection. These are very, very juicy, very full of ink. And same with these Shuttle Art acrylic markers. They come in these 3 tiers. I like this for how compact it is. It's basically the same as the Nahuku set. So those are these 2 shelves. These are my first 3 sketchbooks. These are all the same brand of sketchbook. They're the Arteza hardbound 5x8 sketchbook. So when my 4th sketchbook is finished, when my 4th sketchbook's finished, it'll go up there. This much left. Like, this is very possible. This could be done before the end of the year. And then I have my Scott McCloud Making Comics and Understanding Comics book up here. Both of them have yet to read, both of them. While I have this stuff on the floor, what I had decorating it is this Peach Riot figure that I hated, so I don't have it on the desk. And then I have this Naruto Pez dispenser. The new Basics for Graphic Design book, because I do want to get into graphic design. I think it'll help strengthen my skills as an artist, just to kind of practice in a medium that is so foreign to me. I also have this copy of The Artist's Way, and I got only a few pages into it before I realized this was complete BS and is for people with a lot more control in their lives than me. And then the next 3 books, I have The Secret Lives of Color, and then next I have Looking for Alaska, which I haven't read, which is my partner's copy, and If Cats Disappeared from the World, which I have not read, but looked like it was going to be pretty good. Hello Kitty. These 3 are new from my New Hampshire trip, which is Killingly by Catherine Buettner, Maiko Kawakami's Breast and Eggs, and Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. And then the 2 books that I have read are Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn, or Gillian Flynn, don't know how to say it. Oh my god, this is so good. I watched the show first, then I read the book. and then I watch the show again with my partner because I deal with my own fixations on my own. I have to make them deal with it. So good. Please read it. And then Bones and All, which it was YA. So like I was talking about earlier. But it was good. It was okay. It was cute. I don't care. So these are my illustration 1 and illustration 2 finals. So for illustration 1, we had to make 3 consecutive paintings, and then illustration 2, the entire semester was devoted to our final where we did 9 consecutive drawings. So this is where I chose acrylic ink, and there's a lot of these in here. I have other videos going on about these, and maybe I will do a whole video just about these 2 series. So all of this stuff is mine. I love Wallows, like the Hunger Games, like KG Elephant, that's okay. And then if you go up, there's this thing. I made this, and then Current Joys. And I'm realizing now that a poster of mine did fall down in the last few months. These skulls that I drew can go there. But yeah, so this is my section on the wall. And now we're gonna get into moving on to my desk. So recording my desk is going to be a little bit of a hassle because it is in the corner of 2 extremely bright windows. So this is going to be very difficult. Literally no matter what I do, they're just gonna remain this bright. The lighting might get messed up a little bit, so just please deal as much as you can. This side of my desk truly is not that interesting because this is what I try to keep as clear as possible for the art side of my desk. This is always where I draw. I have this like mat here. This was always the side that I would have facing the top, but I accidentally used nail polish remover on it and spilled it and wiped it, which removed some of the lining. So now it doesn't look good anymore, so I use the other side. I also have Just Kids by Patti Smith, which I'm on and off reading. Like, I try to read 1 book at a time, but this book has been boring me so much that I have started reading other books in between it. That's basically all this part of the desk. I do have this tripod hooked up to my desk here so that I can record top-down footage. And then, as I said, here's a mirror, because this is also where I get ready, because this is where all the sun comes in the morning and afternoon, obviously. But this, oh god, this folds up. So this is a drafting table. So I have used it like this before. I don't do it super often, honestly, because I don't need to. I like drawing on flat surfaces more, but I do hope I get into the habit of like putting my iPad here, because I know people get like those ergonomic wooden stands for their iPads, and I don't need to because I have this drafting desk. So this is this side of the L desk. So let's try to move the camera a bit, see if I can fix things up a bit. Then this is the inner corner of the desk. Up here I have this shelf, which I don't really know what it's supposed to be. I don't know why I wanted this thing, and I do kind of want to move it into the kitchen as like a spice rack and maybe put my IKEA shelf in here once I move that from my parents' house to here. So that will eventually happen, but for now it's this cool little wooden shelf. I do think it adds some nice color here. Or I have a multitude of lamps on this desk because it does get really dark in here sometimes. So I have a lamp right here, and then I have this lamp here, which is a new addition. So here's where I keep my sketchbook. I usually have my pencil case, but I don't really need it. And then my sketchbook, and then I was sent these to review from the TikTok shop, which are the Nick Pro Blocky Gear pencils, which actually are really good. And again, I'm not advertising these because you literally only make money if you purchase them through the TikTok shop link, and I'm not saying you have to go there and do that. So I'm trying to give my genuine reviews in a place where I don't have to say something nice. I could say something mean right now, but I do genuinely like them, so I keep them there underneath for sketching. And then right here I have my microphone. This is from today. I got a new candle. Fresh lemon. I feel like lemon is the summer scent that I really lean towards the most. And then this is my pile of art books, and it's gotten bigger. Well, actually, Atomic Habits is on top. It used to be on my shelf, but I moved it to my desk so that hopefully I pick it up and read it. First, I have the Divum Dito Pro, which isn't mine. This is my partner's. I just keep it on my desk when they're not here because I use it a lot. But I bought it for them for a Christmas present. Let us get into my art books. I have to pull these closer. These used to stand vertically, like on their sides, obviously, and I do like how that looks better than them standing horizontally. But once the summer started and we didn't have the air conditioner in, the humidity expanded the pages within the books and they all collapsed and fell over. so I just decided to keep them on their side. Like I said, we have Atomic Habits on top so that I can finally start reading it. And then we have the Designer's Dictionary of Color. Yeah, was also in that graphic design kick that I had, so I haven't read this fully yet. Next I have Encore, which is the Soul Eater art book. I bought this when I went to New York City, and it is so, oh my god, it is so cool. I love Soul Eater and I really love the art for it, and so this was very interesting to finally be able to like have my own copies of these next things that I have here. I crunched them by accident. They got like messed up in my bag, but these are my Sketches of Shay Patreon newsletters. Next we have the Animator's Survival Kit, and I do go through this sometimes, but like I feel like I really need to go through it and like establish a personal curriculum of a sort to teach myself animation. Then I have Midnight Mass, The Art of Horror. It's written by Abby Bernstein, but it's from Mike Flanagan's shows, obviously, or Midnight Mass specifically, which is my favorite of his shows. So good. Clearly I do have a big religious fixation, in case anybody is being weirded out by how many allusions I'm making to that. Characters are obviously based on it. I'm very drawn to media that is inspired by it, but I'd like to have the caveat that I'm not being preachy about any sort of values or whatever. I believe in religion. I am religious. I'm Episcopalian specifically, but I'm not pushing that on anybody. Most of this stuff is just a general like, wow, as a story, it's some of the most interesting stuff someone could put in a story to me personally. Then we have the Avatar: The Last Airbender book, which I've also looked through, and this is really cool to have one that is like about a show's development and isn't just like a collection of art from a thing. The Art of Naruto, which honestly didn't have as much as I thought it would. Kishimoto has just a really amazing art style. And then next we have my Evangelion art books. So I have 3. So this was the other art book that I purchased in New York City, was because the Yoshiyuki Sadamoto collections are really hard to find. The Dermont Dermond, I don't know how to say it. I have a friend who's German. He's gonna be mad at me. I don't know. The Dermond book is very accessible, very easy to find. I have not seen an ability to purchase this online, so I got this at Kinokuniya? It's in my New York vlog, but this is really good and has a lot more like art and illustrations by Yoshiyuki Sadamoto, who is the character designer and the creator of the Neon Genesis Evangelion manga. Don't know why I said the full biblical name, sorry guys. I do think my favorite is, of the 3 art books, is this one, which is the 2007 to 2017 illustrations. And I like it because it's a variety of different types of illustration, and a lot of it being advertisements and things like that, which I think was really interesting, like using these characters as mascots, and it shows them in so many different outfits and different styles. Like this is probably my favorite spread here. Like this is definitely on my Pinterest board. Variety of different artists in it as well, not just Yoshiyuki Sadamoto. It is kind of nice to look at this art book and be like, yeah, they're just actors. They're just actors in this little AU thing. This is probably the most popular art book for Evangelion. It features a lot of like the cover art for manga, like these are the first 2 issues of the manga, and some of the scene breaker pieces that are within there. Some really beautiful stuff is in here, like probably some of the most iconic illustrations around Evangelion that aren't frames from the anime itself. This is also very cool. It's just there are some really weird drawings in here that just like puts a weird taste in my mouth. It's just like, I don't know, sometimes I don't like it and a man drew it and I'm like, ugh. But artistic wise, as long as I'm not looking at those ones, these are the best art books that I own, these 3. Definitely going to be the hardest part of my desk to show, just because it is right smack in the middle between 2 of the windows. So I have a lot of backlight going on. Hopefully that makes things easier to see. If you noticed me freaking out in the last clip, it was because my camera was dimming because it was overheating. Oh, and now I apologize for the audio as well because I had the AC running. I had to turn it off while I was recording all of the other clips, and then my camera started overheating. So I waited like 20 minutes. I did my nails, which were way too expensive. I got them from TJ Maxx, they're press-ons, but I used the little gel things they came with instead of glue, so hopefully they last. So this has the most amount of decoration, the most amount of use, so let's just get right into it. Right over here is where I have most of my decorations. I have my Gaara and Sakura figurines. I have my Omori plushie, and I have my 10-year anniversary Golden Freddy Funko Pop. So as you can see, this is not the end of the FNAF stuff, because I also have the Office poster and this little signage thing that I got on clearance at Walmart. So yeah, very FNAF heavy desk. This little tiny section here is a little bit of a mess because this right down here is my charging station. So I have my Switch here in a little like phone stand, just because it looks nice, and it also covers underneath this whole area, which I generally try to hide. But I have my camera batteries here, my phone charging here, my portable charging was charging here. So just a lot of wires and a lot of mess. Literally right directly here is my Hatsune Miku mouse pad, which was made by one of my favorite artists, Mika Shia, I believe. She's an ACG goods store, and that's where I was able to get this, because I'm never able to buy anything that she makes because she only really makes stuff for conventions in Europe. But yes, so this is kind of my computer station. Usually my iPad is sitting right here. Sometimes I'll draw here, sometimes I'll draw there. Whether it's digital or not it doesn't really matter where I draw if it's digitally, you know, but I have that whole side for like traditional stuff. When I'm painting, if I'm making a speed recording, it's always over there. And then you can kind of see everything on this built-in monitor stand, and I do have a keyboard underneath. Sometimes I plug this into my laptop. I do plan on getting a monitor to put up here, but I have a little laptop stand and I keep my MacBook up here. Wow, look, I have a VGen page. Wow, computer. And then we're kind of back into this familiar space just to kind of show off some of my figurines. I have a Peach Riot figurine. I have my Toga and Hatsune Miku figures. I have this Precious Moments figurine, and also my Wendigoon. So yeah, I have a lot of stuff, have a lot of decoration. I do hope, the true hope is to get a Pixio monitor, and I'm hoping that that works with MacBooks well, but I would love that that green Pixio monitor that they have, and to be able to put that here. I have this little pouch which is full of all of my editing gear, so it has my headphones that are just for my computer, my SD card thing, which I actually had just used to put an SD card into my camera, and then the inside it just has my hard drive and some adapters and stuff in here. But I usually have that, try to tuck it in here on the desk. My journaling stuff. This is a Hatsune Miku Magic Secret Layer drop box thing. And this is not mine, this is my partner's, but they gave me the box because it says Hatsune Miku on it. And so I have all the little papers that I want to paste into my journal. I keep them in here now. So I have my 2 journals and my pen case. So that was my wonderful, amazing, awesome studio tour. I do hope you liked it. I hope it wasn't too frantic, because I am frantic all the time. It is obviously considerably smaller than my last studio tour, and there isn't as much like camera angle diversity, but I don't know. I hope I explained everything interestingly enough. I really do love this space and what it does for me and everything like that, and obviously it's still a work in progress. Big changes are I really want to get a monitor, and I want to be able to put my IKEA shelf in, and then I feel like that would really be like fully enhance the space. I do wish one of these walls was not a window. Maybe like this one, if this were a wall, that would be nice, because like I wouldn't have the sun blinding me all the time. But it does make this a very inspiring and motivating space to be in. It just makes it hard to film videos like this because I know you're being blinded right now, and I am sorry, but there's not anything that I can do about that. But yeah, other than that, I don't really have anything else to say. Actually, I do. My VGen is open. If you're into commissions and you're looking for them, please help me get verified on VGen. I literally offer $10 commission offers. Like, you could just get a little guy for $10. Please, if 10 of you get one little guy, I could get verified on VGen, and then I would be able to like have traffic diverted to my VGen through the homepage and not through like having to advertise. But please, if you're looking for that. I also have a Discord server. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. I don't know, I'm not really good at advertising. I'm still currently working on videos for my second channel, but yeah, that's all I got. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!